in terms of the energy component of it.
Yeah, because recently, I mean, it was just maybe, I forget how recently, they said that a Google search, how much energy one Google search, and personally, it had never occurred to me, you know what I mean? Because that I was using energy by, you know, besides the energy of my device,
yeah.
I wasn't thinking that the servers, you know, that they require energy to run, and that every time I do a search, there's a cost to the environment.
You're utilizing resources that run on a machine somewhere. Yeah, absolutely.
And that would probably, you know, have fossil fuel, or I know Google is taking an initiative in terms of renewable energy. So, I mean, could you see that would become a cost we would have to pay for something like that?
A cost that would pass on to the end user.
Yeah.
So the general
would be charged to do a search.
Well, the general business model is for things like Google and your internet mail and all that sort of stuff is you don't pay directly, but you pay indirectly in the sense that you are a willing or unwilling participant to see advertisements. So I mean that's their revenue base, right?
Right. So
the more users they attract, then the greater money that they can make, the greater revenue they can get from advertising. So yes, I'm sure a component of that revenue goes towards the resources. But in terms of like an end user model, I mean, personally, I don't think that's something that would be passed on to the end user. In terms of interactions with the end user, however, I mean, so you're talking about the back-end server resources, and certainly that's partly what we talk about. But you gave an example there of Google. So I mean, like a couple of years ago, Google came out with this thing where they said, so at the moment the Google homepage it's like a white page, and you have your search box. They had an option to be able to switch that to a black background. So the theory there being that if you think of all those machines that currently have Google open, then if you switch them to a black background, so to show a white background, it actually takes energy on your computer. If you switch to a black background, you're effectively taking the light away, so you're turning the light off, and you're only using the light to show the actual text that needs to be shown. So you've reduced energy, and the fact is that if you then multiply that out.
Did they do that though, or you choose to do that?
Yeah. So I think they actually did it for like a couple of weeks. A lot of people went, whoa, people don't like change. So they then made it an option, but they kind of did it to prove a point. So and there's other pieces of software out there. So for example, one of the other things especially in a company that has lots of computers in their office at work. And in fact, EMC's done this as well. We have deployed a piece of software called Night Watchman. It just goes around and turns the monitor off every night, or puts the machine into like a slowdown mode, because people aren't using it. However, the monitors are left on. All these things are still running. They're all still consuming energy. So that would so in answer to your earlier question, I mean that would be an example of how IT software can lead to tangible changes in energy usage.
At my old job, we have that, where after some time, especially after 6 p.m., the computers that had been idle for over 30-45 minutes will automatically get turned off.
Correct, yeah.
So to use it, you have to come and set it up again. So
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, exactly so. Okay.